What's going on, Five Star Fam? I'm AJ, and this is Marc. And wherever it is you get your pods, subscribe, share, and leave us a good rating.
This segment is sponsored by Thinking Man Tavern, a cozy Decatur neighborhood pub. Grab a tasty beverage from a wide variety of selections and a plate of something delicious from the menu. To go, check out Thinking Man Tavern.
Welcome to another Five Stripe Weekly episode, and yes, we will start with the official announcement of Thiago Almada. Yeah, the long-rumored player that, had the troubles along with him, the due diligence, the NFL-level due diligence that the team was doing, and we learned that from a number of sources, but also definitely Felipe Cardenas' article that, that NFL-level due diligence also included the league as well in that process. So, there is a little bit maybe of those fears maybe assuaged. But, definitely in this sense, that made official that he has signed a contract through the 2025 season. And he will be a designated player. He will occupy an international roster slot. And, in that sense, a guy that definitely has oodles of talent. Definitely a guy that, at least on transfer market, was probably, I think, if not the top player in South America and definitely Argentina. And so, in that sense, a guy that, has that that pedigree at such a young age, 24 goals, 11 assists in 100 matches. That's a really pretty decent return. That's pretty much
especially
a
for
goal.
number 10.
Right, especially for a number 10 type of player. Pretty much 1 in 3 games, he will have a goal or an assist, essentially. So, that ain't too bad. A little bit over that, actually. But, a guy that I think Vélez Sarsfield's fans will miss as well. The team announced it with, kind of a little bit of an introduction to the player and LA United as well. Just like George Bello with Arminia Bielefeld. Or Bielefeld,
right.
But there is some elephants, I would say, in the room that that need to be talked about, and definitely part of that was why they were doing the due diligence, because of the court case. They were pretty much waiting it out. They pretty much, in every sense of the word, had to make sure that if they were going to enact that option that they had to buy for Almada, that it was something that it was worth doing. They said that they like the player, but they want to make sure that of what they're getting. And so in that sense, do you like what you've heard about what they've said so far? And we'll get into some of the other bits as well, but that first bit.
Yeah, I think that I don't mean this in a backhanded sense, but I think they've done what they were supposed to do, right? Like, I think in all of this, it's pretty clear, right, that they've had these responses lined up, right, and media availability, Thiago Almada's media availability. It's clear that they had a plan from the moment they announced his signing throughout the week. And so I think they've done, and that their responses are satisfactory, right? They went into the due diligence process as much as they could, I guess. Felipe also, so you mentioned Felipe Cardenas, of course. He did a sit down with Q&A with Darren Niels and Eslatsu. I hope I'm saying that right. The other executive. But yeah, one of the quotes that he says in here is that basically, the player Almada was not arrested. He was not ever wanted by the authorities. And so, he was, I guess, a person of interest in that sense. But I guess by their explanation, he was never really the main person in the case. So that is a sense of relief. I mean, look, there's always a part of me that would have wished that, we didn't go for a player that was linked to a sexual assault case. But I think in this case, it does seem like the team did, I guess, their part in terms of investigating. I thought it was also funny. He mentioned that they worked with a couple law firms and actually declined to reveal who they are because he didn't want other teams to have that same access to them. Which is honestly kind of smart. Like, I can't, it makes sense. Like, law firms are actually quite busy. So,
It
if
is
you
true.
protect,
Yeah.
I guess, a couple of relationships in that sense. So, okay.
Although, yeah,
So,
if they
yeah.
did a great job, you probably think they would have want to refer them. Maybe get them some more business. But yeah, totally, I get it. It's like, yeah, they when you find a good one, you don't really want to make them too busy that they can't do the rest of your work. But
Exactly.
but they're
I also thought,
go ahead.
yeah, that the fact that Cardenas actually had to sit down with Darren Eales and the rest of the front office when less than a year ago, Darren Eales went on radio and basically took him to task, called out his credibility and so on. So I mean, I think there's a level of which the club heard the fans. They realized that like they weren't just gonna get over and sort of just not have, I guess, some level of explanation. And so in that sense, I think they showed that they were aware of of the fans' concerns, and I think did as much as they reasonably could to address it.
Yeah, because there are some very real concerns, of course. They have said that in terms of the other bits, the other elephant in the room was the racist gesture in Tokyo during the Olympics, and definitely something that I have a bone to pick in that sense. But the supporters groups, Footy Mob Resurgence, definitely had something to say about it. They weren't too keen on the announcement. The day after and during that press conference as well, Darren Eales did mention that, in terms of that goal celebration, Thiago accepts that that was racially insensitive. He knows that is not behavior that's expected at our club. He knows that it's wrong, and that he has, offered contrition. And so there is that, and if he does actually, realize the wrongs, I think we can accept the apologies, and we can accept the, that he's a young kid. In terms of the gesture, it's something that, Bella Sarsfield's fans do, / Argentine people do, but it still doesn't make it okay whatsoever. It's one of those things where, again, I'm gonna point it out again, just because Italian fans do the monkey gestures, or not gestures but the sounds, and it's part of their culture, it doesn't make it okay. So it's honestly, it's fucked up that we still have to even talk about it in this day and age. So it's one of those, we can get past it. The contrition, if it's real, okay. Let's make sure now. Let's not make it a hat trick with anything here in Atlanta.
Right.
Because definitely he needs to be on his best behavior if he wants to be able to make it to Europe, because he's definitely got that talent. He is a very very talented player. And he is that kind of number 10 type of player that will be able to help us, unlock some defenses. Now, will he be able to be, that type of player that's, maybe on a low block, that can help us break down that type of team? I don't know. Hopefully so, but it seems like, in transition, he's very, very strong there. And, the quick decision making then is something that's, is a strong suit for him. And plus, the fact that he's also with the first team of the Argentine squad, the Argentine national team. Like, that's, I think, just speaks volumes. By the way, he is the record signing for MLS. Like, like 16 million. Like, yeah. I mean, that's reported anyway. It's not official. They don't ever really admit to that stuff, but it's very much that. So, but so Thiago Almada, he also spoke with the press, like Marc alluded to, and he said that he said, I can't talk about the investigation because of those involved. Regarding the goal celebration at Belez, I apologize to the fans, and I know that it's unacceptable. I know what Atlanta United is as an organization, and I'm proud to be here. He also has talked about that Barco spoke highly of Atlanta as a city, a club, the fans, and the stadium during the Summer Olympics. And he's just going to try to perform on the pitch. And he's been saying all the right words. Looks like his PR team has been working overtime, so that's a good thing. He's gonna have to have like Mesut Ozil like PR teams for what he's gonna have to I think deal with maybe in some other markets, but it's just all part of the game, in that sense. But Gonzalo Pineda also spoke about Almada completing the squad. We have all the ingredients, which are great. If we can bring the cherry for the cake, it's fantastic. Yeah. What thoughts do you have on all of this? It's a lot for sure.
Yeah. So I will say is I loathe when people like just throw out someone's age as an excuse as to why, as a defense as to why they did something. But he is a young man. I totally agree with you that it's ridiculous that anybody is still doing the pulled back eyelids and whatever. It's racist. Like, it doesn't matter what country it's in, or what culture it is. Like, don't act like you can't criticize another culture's racism, or don't act like racism doesn't exist in other cultures. Like, I don't know. I feel I have no problem critiquing, in this case, Argentina's culture for, I think, what is a backwards gesture. But, I think in that sense, too, the club, his teammates can be a positive influence, positive peer pressure, if you will. And it's like show him that certain things are not acceptable. Of course, with regards to the case and how involved was he in that. We just have to see. I mean, it's so far so good, right? It seems like he wasn't too involved. I hope nothing happened, right? Like, the most importantly, and I certainly hope that a player that is now an Atlanta United player was not involved in any way, shape, or form. So, but yeah, I mean, he's an exciting talent. There's no denying that. Right up there with, I guess, Julian Alvarez in terms of Argentinian players who just left the league. So, next, like, part of their next generation. So, I'm curious to see how this goes. I mean, like I said last week, it's kind of Barco 2.0. Maybe there are some things that are working in our favor, and I think, or I would hope anyway, the club has learned some lessons into how to help players transition. So, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, definitely so much to really see in the future of Almada because, if all goes well, he's not an Atlanta United player at the end of the season in the off season. So, that's definitely, maybe hopefully so in that sense. Like, we one and done, that means he's had a really great season. And,
Oh man.
so
What
that's,
I would like to see is something on the level of Miggy. He
Yeah.
was just lights out in MLS. You could tell already. You could tell after one season that he was too good for the league.
Yeah.
It's kind of missed. I think that the league has gotten better in that sense, and so like the players who stand out to that degree are fewer and far between. But it would be exciting if we had like a talent of that level.
Definitely. So yeah, some exciting times ahead. And maybe not so exciting, unfortunately, was those friendlies this past Sunday. So a pair of 3-0 losses in Mexico. It's so a double header. It was against Chivas in Guadalajara, and then also we played at Tepatitlan, and it was basically a little bit of the second squad for both teams, but also a couple of starters, or maybe not starters, but like guys part of the first team. And you could tell how much more I think trained up they were, more match fit they were. Maybe bar maybe a few attacks that were like kind of promising. Didn't have much going on, but we did see Almada get his first start, and you also saw some little bit of maybe like rash tackling, some a red card as well. I mean, it was something that we need to iron out.
Reds.
Yeah, a couple reds. It's something that maybe some tempers flared. Is what it is. But not pretty in terms of results. But should we be too fussed?
Could you repeat that?
Should we be too fussed about all this?
At the end of the day, I think preseason is what it is, which is building up fitness, and I guess fair play to Atlanta to scheduling a couple teams that are in the middle of their season, and that's what they came up against. I think that's what it really came down to was difference in fitness and sharpness, and so I think like I want to say Chivas scored off of at least a couple set pieces. That's a perfect example of lack of sharpness. A couple times where they got in behind the defense. Miles was beaten a couple times in a way you wouldn't normally expect, and so I wouldn't be too worried. I mean, like, there's obviously things that they still need to work on, and that's the thing too. I mean, like, I still think that I do think this team, in that sense, is kind of a work in progress. I mean, of course, Almada is just joining the team, and now he's working on a shorter preseason, so he's gonna have to build up fitness and chemistry in that sense. And then, Ruger, I think, has been the most promising player. And he was the victim of a studs up challenge. Thankfully, he walked away. You kind of wonder if we're going to see that during the league now that Barco's gone. They're going to have to file somebody. So,
it's. I mean, I think definitely. It's really all three of those attacking midfielders probably will get a lot of the brunt of that, the punishment for sure. I mean, I don't think, there's too much concern ultimately. Really it's exercise and working out the kinks in friendlies. We've had some really poor preseasons before, and it turned out all right. Definitely in 2018. Definitely was not a spectacular preseason either. But I think definitely the competition has been tougher, at least in Mexico, than what we faced previously. So I think all in all, that's a good thing. Now, something that is, we'll see how you feel about this, Mark. But basically, oopsies. Joseph Martinez, he accidentally showed Dwyer, who's on trial with Atlanta United, on his IG story, pretty much the day before these friendlies. And Dwyer did start as the center forward in the second match against Tepatitlan. And this video, I think kind of shows like the relationship between Dwyer and Joseph Martinez, that somehow they've always been a little bit tight, in that sense. They've I think probably spoken maybe on social media a good bit, and it's one of those kind of like mutual respect in a way. If Dwyer made the squad, would you accept him as a former Orlando City player?
Gosh. You just had to like rub that salt in there, didn't you? Yeah. I mean, I guess he can't be worse than Cubo Torres. Like that's like the one positive I have about this.
But can he shithouse like Cubo Torres?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, he's an Orlando City player. Of course he can shithouse. So no, in all seriousness, like, he's had his struggles before, I mean, we've seen some epicnesses against Atlanta. Like borderline goal line stuff. And so I guess if he were to make the team though, and I guess we'll get to the rumors of the other forward that we're at least linked to, but there is a bit of they need to fill out the striker position. I mean, it can't just be Joseph, right? So I think Dwyer is like a third option, a break glass in case of emergency option. Sure, that's fine. Also, there's this angle to it too. He's not so long ago became single again. Single man in Atlanta. There are worse places to be. Just saying.
Suppose that's probably true. Although, I don't think we all need to be, battling the likes of Dwyer in the supermarket or something. But,
I can't knock him for that accent too. It'd be a rap.
That's just that's unfair. That's unfair. But him as a player, it's been a bit dire, as you kind of no pun intended whatsoever. But whoops. But in terms of like him at Toronto, that was not going too well. I mean, he basically has not been performing, and if it's like, like you're saying, break glass, in case of emergency, or even, maybe that league minimum, then okay, sure. I think that's probably more of that speed. The garbage minutes, maybe. And if he proves otherwise, fantastic. Right. But we will see. But in terms of that other rumor, then, it's pretty much that Luca Martinez Dupuy. He's a Mexican-Argentinian. According to Cesar Luis Merlo, that advanced negotiations have already begun. There's a formal offer for a 1-year loan with a purchase option. Now, Luca Martinez Dupuy, his strengths, according to Who Scored, say that, he's good at holding on to the ball. Not so great at aerial duels or his defensive work rate, nor his passing. But he's the type of player that, maybe while he's, holding on to the ball and maybe getting others involved, that he gets fouled often. And he likes to play long balls and, Yeah, I don't know if that exactly screams out the type of player that we need, but it is maybe a slight difference to Joseph Martinez. Maybe that hold-up striker that could offer something different. Maybe offer something to play off of with Joseph Martinez,
Right.
to run in behind. But would you be mad if we put a U22 slot type of move for Luca Martinez Dupuy?
No, I wouldn't. I don't think that's the worst use of that slot, actually. Because it's. I think yeah, combining sort of a position of need with potential, right? I think you could certainly do worse than that. I mean, of course, I haven't seen him play. We don't actually know what he's capable of, but in theory, it's not a bad move. I mean, okay, look at somebody like Ibarra, right? Young player that I think will. He started the versus Chivas, and I think he will have a key role to play this season. And so, yeah, in that sense, I think that it makes sense because it's this too, like all these young players are getting, we may want to like hold on to one or two of them and make them a long-term player of the club. And so I think, it is, you give yourself multiple options with.
Yeah. Indeed. So it's somebody that, with that young profile and, the definite, I think, difference in attacking style, I think will be something that will be quite useful. And, we also, of course, have a Jackson Conway to offer something different as well. But, Jackson Conway, I think, definitely has, some development as well to do. And so I think, we do need that kind of variance of kind of veteran experience and kind of that youthful exuberance / potential to tap into. But that pretty much is the episode, except for the question of the day. And the question of the day is, well, who needs to have a strong final preseason match before the season starts? We will be playing the Birmingham Legion on Sunday, the final preseason friendly of 2022 before the season starts against Sporting KC, of course. So, who is that player? Let us know in the comments below. So, guys, that is the episode. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. For Mark, I'm AJ. Thank you so much for watching.